Hello everyone and welcome back. In our previous episode, we covered Articles 21 to 23 of the Constitution of Kenya, where we learned about the state's duty to protect rights, enforcement of the Bill of Rights, and the authority of courts to uphold justice. Today we move to a very important and practical topic: limitation of rights and fundamental freedoms under Article 24. Let's start with a key principle. Human rights are powerful, but they are not absolute. Article 24 explains when and how rights can be limited and protects us from unfair restrictions. 1. Rights can only be limited by law. A right or freedom cannot be limited randomly. It must be done by law, and even then, only if the limitation is reasonable, justifiable, in a democratic society, and most importantly, based on human dignity, equality, and freedom. 2. What must be considered before limiting a right? The Constitution gives 5 key tests. Nature of the right. How important is the right? Purpose of the limitation. Why is it being limited? Extent of the limitation. How far does the restriction go? Impact on others. Does exercising one person's right harm others? Alternatives. Is there a less restrictive way to achieve the same goal? In simple terms, a right can only be limited if it's fair, necessary, and balanced. 3. Laws must be clear and honest. Any law limiting a right must clearly state that it is limiting a right, explain exactly which right is being limited, show the extent of that limitation. If it's vague or hidden, it is not valid. 4. Rights cannot be destroyed. Even when limited, a right cannot lose its core meaning. For example, freedom of expression can be regulated, but it cannot be completely taken away. 5. Burden of proof lies on the state. If a right is limited, the government or any person must prove the limitation is lawful. It meets all Article 24 conditions. This ensures accountability and prevents abuse of power. 6. Special situations. Muslim personal law. Some equality provisions may be adjusted when applying Muslim law in Kadhis courts, but only in matters like marriage, divorce, inheritance, and only for those who practice the Muslim faith. Security forces, KDF, and police. Certain rights may be limited for people serving in Kenya Defense Forces, National Police Service. These include rights like privacy, association, assembly, labor relations, economic and social rights, rights of arrested persons. Why? To maintain discipline, order, and national security. Article 24 protects both individual freedom and the greater good of society. It ensures that rights are respected but not abused. And that's Article 24, simple, balanced, and very powerful. If you found this helpful, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe so you don't miss the next part of this series. In our next episode, we will cover fundamental rights and freedoms that cannot be limited at all, a very crucial part of the Constitution. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next one.